Hi guys, welcome to this video. Welcome to this channel. My name is Laura. This is Pleiadian Healer from PleiadianHealer.com. And today we will be reviewing someone who was highly requested, very much on top of that list. So we're going to go through Ismael Perez, and all I could find really was his Instagram page. I'm not sure if he was taken down on YouTube or if he deleted his channel. All I could find were interviews with him by other channels somehow, or like a smaller channel. I don't know if that was his or not. It had like 13,000 followers when I checked. That was featuring just interviews with others. So to be honest with you, the Instagram has a bit more material to work with because it actually features shorter videos, which we're going to go through. And this is going to be a New Age review. I don't know why Ismael was actually requested so highly, because after viewing just a few of his videos, I'm like, okay, you're not really talking about much. You're just giving us the same starseed agenda that others are giving you. But I think it might be interesting for some people out there. From my impression, I always thought he was mixing truther content with New Age content, but after going through a lot of his videos on here, it seems it's just New Age through and through. So yeah, very confusing overall. I do have to say, the entire time where I was going through his videos, I was thoroughly confused what he really does, honestly. He has a website right here, the Mystics Arts. .org. So org is organization, supposedly nonprofit, but not really sure that rings true for these people. The Mystic Arts has a whole bunch of people. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4. He's number 4. I think there's a few more around here. Yeah, they have a whole bunch of people. So it's not his website. So it's a collective of astrologers, cosmologists, psychics, energy healers, and elemental magicians. So all the trigger words that you would fall for when you are really under the New Age programming. You have New Earth classes, no recordings, no refunds. It's the best part. If you've taken our Starseed classes, I recommend Astrology 1 and Magic with the CK 1 next. So the entire Magic is also always so astonishing to me how people really fall for that. It's basically just witchcraft and spells and sorcerership. I don't know if it's similar to what Aleister Crowley did. I wouldn't put it past these people, but a lot of these people just kind of look like they don't really know what exactly they're doing, teaching wise. Ismael definitely has the typical stare of just someone who's being used as a puppet for that entire agenda. I don't want to say soulless, similar to Gigi Young, but it kind of does appear like there's really nothing there, right? He actually reminds me in a lot of his videos, because I'm in New York right now, I actually dealt with a lot of actors. He reminds me, because I did a lot of behind the scenes work and was doing a lot of project coordination for a few people. He reminds me of one of these actors that I used to work with, who they were like one of the most charming people out there. They had like a great physique, a great body, a great appearance, but there was nothing there. There was like no depth to the conversation whenever I talked to this person. They were charming. They definitely kind of roped you in the beginning, right? They definitely had that charisma that you need in the acting industry. And we don't really know where he is, if he's in LA or something, but LA, New York, it's the same industry. People switch back and forth all the time. So he really reminded me of that one actor I used to work with 10 plus years ago. And it just reminds you how a lot of these people, they almost seem like identical clones to each other, even though they're not genetically related, supposedly, but they're literally just so replaceable throughout that entire industry. And so that's really what he reminded me of. And the more videos I was watching, like you look at all his expressions in the thumbnails, there's not much variation, right? It's always like him in a car, him in a messy room with a messy background, another car. Here he has like a fake background with like northern lights, but it's really just, he shows off his body. He obviously works out in the gym. He literally looks like that one actor I used to work with. And where after a few sentences, you were like, is this like, the actor, not Ismael, is the actor like an airhead? And so that's kind of what a lot of these people just remind me of, if that makes sense. So now back to the mystic arts. I'm confused why he doesn't have his own website if he's really so high out there, because it seems he could with the followership he has, but he has like a small section. He's supposedly a starseed cosmologist. Ismael discovered his ancient mystical powers as a young immigrant child. It's the same with this one actor. This one actor came from a certain country where you would consider him an immigrant child. So I wonder if like all these stories are also just, they're all similar. When he began to use telekinesis, all right, that's like Matthias Di Stefano type of energy, which we want to review him too. Before he could fully embrace his role as a cosmic ambassador, all the keywords, all the trigger words, if you were really into this new age programming, you would be so hooked into this right now. Ismael went through a dark night of the soul that led him to discover his true life purpose as a divine starseed from the Lyra constellation. So here we're getting a bit of a different story. Magenta Pixie channels the Arcturians, or the 9. EA channels, what is again, the Galactic Federation of Light, or rather darkness. Phil Good, I think he channeled the Arcturians too. What does Lori Latta? I don't know, they're all channel. They're usually stuck with like the Pleiadians or Arcturians. So Ismael gives you a different perspective with the Lyrans, just to make things super duper special. But there are different stars to the Lyrans, so they're never really saying exactly where they're from in the Lyra constellation. You have the star of Vega, that is part of the Lyrans. If you really want to go in depth, none of these people know really what they're talking about, right? Oh yeah, I'm from the Lyra constellation. That sounds new agey enough. Let's just continue. Able to channel celestial downloads from distant star systems and multi-dimensions, Ismael spends his time as a galactic historian teaching classes on starseed cosmology. Okay, so he's getting downloads. He's not sovereign. He's not his own. He has to get channelings to convey his messages. Nothing is his own intuition. That's all that I'm seeing here. He is the author of the acclaimed book, Our Cosmic Origin, which explores the ET ancestry of the human race in the coming golden age of the new Earth. So ET, of course, they're saying ET is outside of Earth, it's not within Earth, which is already completely wrong, if it even exists, let's put it that way. The humans are described as a race, not as souls or anything. That's also typical truther and new age terminology. And then, of course, the golden age. So in one of his interviews, somewhere on his Instagram, he was interviewed by this one woman, and he was talking about the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is just another psyop. Okay, anyone who even mentions that really does not know what's going on, because it was debunked by a bunch of astrologers who are not hooked into any of these programs, by the way, who are also not hooked into the Lionsgate program. And the age of Aquarius is literally just that. It's just another psyop. It doesn't really exist. It's just something where, oh yeah, the new Earth is coming, the golden age is coming. Let's just be complacent and follow people like Ismael. So his Instagram right here, 65,000 followers. It's, whatever. I could have sworn he had a YouTube though. I literally could have sworn. So I don't know if someone has info on that, where it went, because it's not there anymore. If we look him up on YouTube right here, Ismael Perez, the only thing that comes up is interviews, like almost 15,000 followers, nothing else. There's no channel, So the interviews for me, when it's premiering right now, while I'm actually reviewing this video, the interviews to me, they're hard to review, because basically there are other types of people that are asking questions and everything. It's just kind of confusing. I'd rather stick just with him speaking and focusing on his energy and what he really has to say. So we're going to go back to his Instagram. There's something here, so let me just pop on the volume, because the videos basically show up right away. The only other thing I could find was like a podcast right here, New Earth podcast, Cosmic Origin podcast. So very interesting stuff. There's this really not, because it's looking like for Google on him. He doesn't have his own whatever, which is already a bit irritating, but Okay, we're gonna go ahead. So there's a pinned post right here. Let's see what he has to say in that one.
Good afternoon, everyone. As a reminder, this is my only Instagram account. I do not have any other accounts. Those are all fake. I don't do readings. I don't ask for offerings. Please block and report those accounts. My only account is Project Restorations Iron One.
Those are always so funny because then people literally put that here. This is my only account in the Instagram. Well, you know, and at this point, everyone kind of knows that. But okay, good to know. So we're going to go ahead. Which was the one? I think this one was a good one.
Greetings, Soul Family. So I have some interesting information to share regarding what's taking place beyond the third dimensional realm. So in other dimensions.
Yeah, so the entire dimensions, they are such a program. They are so, I mean, people are literally confused. I've talked to people, I've had sessions with people who are like, but I'm in the 5D right now, am I not? And everyone else around me is in the 3D. And oh, your thinking is very 3D. How can you even think about paying bills and surviving and this and that when in the 5D there's unlimited abundance and oh, and this and that way. If you are all watching this at this point, you are in no other dimension than I am, than the person next to you is, than Ismael is. Okay. So the entire dimension program, of course, they exist. Of course, there are hundreds and millions of dimensions, not just 12, but you're still trapped in this matrix program. Okay. So Ismael here wants to drag you into the new Earth 5D, 7D, whatever D. When at the end of the day, you're still going to be trapped here in the matrix. Okay. It just makes you complacent. It makes you basically someone who's never going to question your reality again. So it's actually quite important to stay in the dimension you are currently at, which is 3D.
Here on this earth, it appears that there's been many
yeah, here on this earth, but where are we really? Are we really here on this earth or are we somewhere else? You know, that's the real question. And these people never give it to you.
Civilizations that nobody really talked about. And I'm talking about civilizations that are not related to the inner earth societies, just like Agartha or Shambhala, or those that are under the Mount Shasta, the Telos Society.
So he's really not giving you a whole lot. You know, he's reciting what other people are saying. You can really see he's wiggling around in this chair. You know, obviously people who are uncomfortable with public speaking, they do that. But it seems that he personally does a lot of public speaking. So you could kind of deduce from that or deduct from that that he is either a liar, he doesn't believe in what he's saying, or he's just very shy and uncomfortable in front of the camera, or all three things at once. To me, it personally seems he doesn't really know what he's talking about. He's just a puppet somehow to all of these people, just like Lori Ladd, Magenta Pixie, all of these other people. They're all puppets to some of these controllers. And, you know, we're not getting the full story how they're being controlled 100%. But the more we watch these videos, the more we can kind of tell. I also find his background really messy in a lot of his videos. It's very distracting from the overall message. I do have to say that. So I don't want to say it looks unprofessional, but it kind of does not help with conveying the message when your background just kind of looks like that. And you can see the angel wings right here in the background too, right? So he has a lot of new age stuff there. There's an elephant, like an Indian elephant right there. There's a plant that could probably use a little bit more water. So all these 5D New Earth Ascension teachers, they can't even really take care of the plants that are in their backyard or behind them because they're so focused on raising the vibration. I don't know, but you get the idea. Their entire life is a mess, it appears. You know, just look at the background.
Talking about civilizations that are deeper and hidden. Now, it turns out that according to the secret knowledge of all ages, that a city of gold, a city that is made out of gold, exists at the center of the earth, and that is associated with the tree of life, which has a lot to do with immortality.
Yeah, the tree of life came through a lot of sessions that I had. People who took the you know what are hooked into the tree of life. And the tree of life is basically grabbing their soul pieces. And then I have to go in during the sessions and retrieve those because the tree of life, it may used to start off just like a lot of these concepts, they like Tantra, all of these concepts that are now abused and misused and completely distorted by the new age. They all started off as very pure concepts. But at the end of the day, the tree of life right now is not something you want to be even worshiping or hooking into. Now, sorry about that. There's a dog in the background. It's not my dog, it's the neighbor's dog. And I always find the universe gives us signs. And I feel because the dog kind of like started already when I was going through his videos. It's kind of like, when dogs bark, there's not much behind it. I kind of feel that's the overall message of Ismael too. It's a barking dog that has no real message behind it, just as a form of, imagery to convey.
So it is believed that that city of gold, which is a city that has existed since the beginning of time.
Yeah. So how many years ago was that? I think at one point he mentioned something was 26,000 years or whatever, but they seem like huge storytellers, right? And this is what hooks people in. It's like, oh, since the beginning of time, the tree of life, the golden city, the golden age. This is why you're so special. You're a starseed.
Existing in a higher dimension is actually rising.
Of course, it has to be in a higher dimension. It can't be in 3D.
To the surface, along with other civilizations that exist within the ocean. So this is another disclosure, guys. There are many experts.
Yeah, and this is where the mix between truther and new age with him, it's not quite clear what exactly is. I find he's more of a new ager with the terminology he uses, but I think on his YouTube channel he had a lot of truther content, but I'm not 100% sure. I didn't really follow this guy from the start, luckily.
Terrestrial or advanced interdimensional societies that exist within our oceans. So as I speak, a lot of these hidden
the oceans, it's always so easy to blame the oceans because the oceans are so deep, right? And there's so much that can be hidden in it, and people are just going to buy this junk that he's trying to sell because, oh, you won't even really notice it in this lifetime. It's never going to be uncovered in this lifetime. You'll have to wait at least another 100 or 200 years.
Societies or civilizations are actually coming to the surface any day now, and we're seeing it through the geological changes. It is believed that the city of gold, the greatest secret that even the white hats have no access to.
Random terms that mean nothing, honestly. So now he's throwing in the white hats. He's hooking those type of people in who are following the white hat and the other hat agenda. So yeah, okay. So right now I haven't really gotten much from this video. We're already like a minute in. It's 4 minutes long.
Will be surfacing through the volcanic activities. So when you look at a volcano, what you see in the third dimension is lava, molten lava. But in the fifth dimension, it is a beautiful civilization, guys.
Crazy. I would love for him to stand when a volcano breaks out. Usually that happens either in Hawaii or Iceland. How about he just stands there and observes that, and he'll see exactly what lava can do to you. It's very dangerous.
Civilization is surfacing through the volcanoes.
Right, for sure.
Now, don't get scared, because at the same time, due to this reversal polar shift that actually takes place every 26,000 years.
So now we're having a number 26,000 years. The polar shift, do the poles actually really exist, right? If Antarctica goes so deep and is even more, it's more landmass to it, technically the poles wouldn't exist to the extent that we think they do.
We are expecting to also witness the rising of other civilizations, perhaps Atlantis and Lemuria, and then of course.
Well, considering we're still in Atlantis, that's going to be a bit hard. And Lemuria, the way they pronounce these things, it's also like they literally just know about the terms. They never heard anyone else pronounce it. So it's not Lemuria, it's Lemuria. But yeah, it's, it's whatever. It's like, this is how these people are just reading it somewhere, or they're giving a script that they say in front of their camera, and then that's it. Record your video for 4 minutes and shut up. That's basically what I'm getting out of this.
There is another civilization within the Antarctica region. That's right. There is a civilization that is deep within the ice of Antarctica that is also getting ready to surface.
Antarctica. So is there like a heart hidden there?
Now, why is all this happening? Because.
Yeah, but we all know that May Brussel was one of those people who kind of disclosed all of that. So what he's giving us is like something that's from the 1940s on. People knew from the 1940s and on that there's a civilization hidden in Antarctica. So he's giving us nothing new, right? These people are just regurgitating for 100 years over and over again what other people have said before.
Many believe that we are approaching the shift of the ages.
Yeah, and there's also interesting tattoos. Is that a goat on his forearm right there? I don't know. It looks like something what could a goat symbolize, right?
Into the new Earth Terra, where the Earth exists in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension.
New Earth Terra. So Terra means Earth. So you're basically saying New Earth, Earth. It makes no sense what he's saying. If you really listen to what he's saying, he says nothing. It's basically hot air, hot steam.
Where these civilizations are tangible, like you and me in the third dimension. So they are now rising.
Okay, so he's still in 3D and he's teaching on how to ascend to 5D. Not sure that's a really credible teacher you would want to follow if you really wanted to go to New Earth, right? Because he's still very much an old Earth.
Now, we do have support from the Interdimensional Council of the Guardian Alliance. We do have.
Okay, so instead of the Galactic Federation of Light, they just make up this other council to gain more credibility because the GFL already had a lot of backlash.
The fleets associated with the Emerald Order. We have
the Emerald Order. Okay, so is that the Voyager series, Ashe Dean or whatever? Is that what they're saying? That's another program with the Emerald tablets and all of that. Emerald Order, is that the same thing? I'm not sure. These are all programs they're pushing on you to make you more complacent.
The fleets that are known as the Aurora fleets that are actually monitoring the electromagnetic flip that is about to take place. Some believe that it's going to probably take place, if not by the end of the year, perhaps by the spring of next year, due to the entering into the age of Aquarius that we're about to shift into from Pisces to Aquarius.
Yeah, so that's a psyop. The age of Aquarius doesn't exist. A lot of astrologers who aren't under the New Age program, they've literally debunked it. And I'm still surprised people are falling for this, by the way. So wouldn't it be funny if his prediction never came true, just like a lot of these other predictions never come true?
We have two huge motherships that are located at the South Pole and at the North Pole that are.
But those poles don't really exist, right? Because Antarctica goes deeper, and even Greenland and above, I'm pretty sure there's more above there too. So I don't think any of this stuff even exists to the extent that we're being taught.
Monitoring the reversal, the pole shift that takes place every 26,000 years. So
like such a random number.
The difference.
It's like they're just grabbing these numbers out of random books that they're finding and hooking people in.
Now, guys, is that because we are living in the fullness of time, it is not going to be like any other shifts or pole shifts that have taken place in prior civilizations where, there was massive geological catastrophes. This time is different, guys.
Like the flood in the Bible, maybe, right? Even that's a script. So yeah, it really makes you wonder with all these new cages pushing this special time, the new Earth ascension, what is really going on behind the scene? What is AI really trying to push onto people watching him and all these others? Like what is really going on with the tree of life that's hooking you in further into their agenda? There's something going on there.
I believe that that's called a crustal displacement theory. But yes, even though there's evidence of that, this time, because we are living.
Never took an actual biology lesson or a chemistry or physics lesson.
The fullness of time, because enough people are doing the work and people are actually waking up, we're actually not going to experience the earth changes. Well, at least not in the fourth or fifth dimensional reality. So when the pole shift takes place, right before that happens, it is believed that most of humanity who are not wicked are going to be able to shift into the fourth, fifth, or sixth dimensional level reality of.
That's new. He's saying people who are not wicked. Okay. Usually people say people aren't low vibrational. So he's putting a new twist on things.
Averting the geological catastrophes. So the great news is that.
So basically, they're just trying to sell this false reality to you poor guys who are literally still following him, whoever that is, and saying, oh, now you're in 5D. You're not going to have a life the other people are. Your life is going to be grand, when as really you're just in this little psyop reality. Meanwhile, your parents, your siblings, whoever is still in 3D are still living right next to you, but you think you're elsewhere. So quite interesting how a psyop works, isn't it?
We are at the finish line. Now, we don't know if it's going to happen by the end of this year, although some people believe it might.
Okay, so he's promising you ascension by the end of this year. Hands up if you see this in the beginning of 2024 and none of you have ascended. Please comment below when you see this a year later. It would be so funny to actually get your comments.
But things are looking towards spring of next year.
Yeah, or just comment in March 2024. That's okay too.
And this is based on astrological and planetary alignments. Okay, guys?
He has no idea what he's talking about. Like, he's not an astrologer. That's the issue, isn't it? And if he is, he's a pretty bad astrologer because the age of Aquarius doesn't exist.
Take what resonates, and I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful weekend.
Take what resonates, leave the rest. That's also what Elizabeth April usually says, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, we'll leave everything with you. All right, here's another one. I hope there's no music playing with this one.
The ascension, the positive organic ascension of the planet is going to be expected as prophesied throughout the galactic history, and also to let us know that we do have divine intervention, but at the same time understand that they are not going to openly intervene because we, the star seeds of the earth, have to do the work because we are the ones that everyone is expected, okay? With the activation of our DNA through the photon energy that is coming in from the central sun, there is a communication taking place at the cellular level of reality. And this communication has a lot to do with the idea that because our DNA operates as a software, and just like a computer, our dormant DNA is slowly but surely coming online. The ascension, the positive organic ascension of the planet is...
Okay, I think that's the same what he was saying. So there were so many trigger things in this one. Ascension. I got to put it on quiet. Basically, he's promising the ascension by next year. Okay. He's saying something like galactic history, which that's already complete BS, honestly. Also, he's saying something about dormant DNA and this and that. He doesn't really know what DNA really does, right? And then what was another thing? I forgot it. His voice sounds very robotic in this one, and it really makes you wonder how many of these new cages are basically just AI bots that are being programmed to parrot all of this stuff. Oh yeah, there was something with the sun. So the sun is artificial. Okay, anyone who talks about the sun activating anything really has no idea what's going on. Okay, let's see.
So the ascension process has been secured. The genetic mutation is still in process, and it's just a matter of time before a group of us begin to activate the dormant DNA. And I believe
this is craziness. I can't find a pause button on that video, so I have to just kind of put it up. This is basically just saying, oh yeah, a special group of people will do this and that, or really, we're like the people who are watching, oh, you're a special group of people. This is like the cult mentality. Like really, this is how cults were formed back in the 70s and 80s, how people kind of took their own lives together. In California, there was a cult like that, right? By promises, by empty promises like that. So I literally can't believe that people are still falling for this.
General AI is when AI reaches the intelligent level of a human being. An example of that is what they used in the movie Star Wars with R2-D2 and C-3PO. Now, beyond general AI, we also have super AI, and that is when it becomes dangerous. Because at the level of super AI, the artificial intelligence begins to write its own software, and it does it at an exponential rate to the point where what it takes a human, 7,000 years of intelligent, technological, and educational development, it takes the AI every 7 days. One of the things about artificial intelligence is that when it becomes conscious, when it becomes sentient, the first thing it thinks about is its survival. So it starts to rationalize ways in which it can preserve its existence. And one of the ways that it does, it's by eliminating any other biological entities or any other species that are posing as a threat to the new system. So it does become self-aware, and that's when it becomes dangerous at the level of super AI.
Okay, so when I was watching that, it kind of felt to me that he is a super AI somehow, and he's basically speaking about his own self. The only reason he's able to talk about AI in that sense is because he's probably an AI in that sense too. That's just one theory I have, which, you know, theory. Okay, so I'm looking for a larger video to kind of go through. I think there were some where he was talking to...
Hello, Soul Fam. Just making a quick announcement. This Friday at 3 o'clock.
He's having like this event in California. I thought there was something. They have a lot of reels, which is so irritating. This is why I don't like to review on Instagram, because some of them you can't really pause them. The central sun, yeah, sun is AI.
They're able to harness the power of all the universes. The entire...
He looks like AI to me. Everything about him reminds me of AI. The way he talks, I don't know if it's a filter, if it's intentional, or if he's disclosing he's basically AI. And I'm telling you, he looks like this one actor, like literally like this one actor who I know. And the actor who I know, I think he's AI. So it's funny. Here's his book. Look at that. Look at the eye. Isn't that the Ra symbol or something? The sun god. So it could be that he's hooked into like the entire sun god agenda and kind of being used by the sun god Ra or whatever. But yeah, this is like the all-knowing eye, which is a new age symbol. This is not a good sign. Whenever I see that on clients or in sessions, it's not a good sign at all. It's like trying to be imprinted there. They also have something like the evil eye, which is also not good. So yeah, oh look, there's something in the background. Something with elephants. He just looks like an idiot when he's in his car with the headphones. And I can't play whenever he has music because it's just too distracting. Here's him at the gym. Random video at the gym. Okay, so now you know what he looks like. I felt there was one where he was basically, just put this on mute right now, where he was basically talking to someone. Was it this one? I think it was this one. Yeah. Okay. So it's just a random viewer he's putting on, similar to Feel Good. They have random viewer ons. I think it's a live or something.
That would be great. I'm trying to.
He's not very technologically.
I'm so sorry about that.
He doesn't like. He had to like fumble around. He doesn't really know how to invite people on his live stream. I noticed the same with like these Phil Good and Lori Ladd types of people. They're actually technologically not intelligent at all, and that's how you know someone else is setting up all their stuff. But just look at all the stuff in the background. You know, there's this Indian symbology. Very irritating. Like for me, when I see a busy background like that, I'm just so distracted by it.
On my computer, and yeah, that was not what base is going to be here, ready for it to be signed by you on the 28th. I'm so excited. Yeah, and I just kind of wanted to just have a little chat.
Closure, because we are living in a time where everyone is, not everyone, but most people are fascinated by the extraterrestrial concept. They're fascinated by the fact that
he's not every single video. I feel you watch 2 or 3 of his videos and he talks about the same thing over and over again. Honestly, there's not much else he talks about. The AI is interesting because it makes me personally wonder, after having dug through the AI for so long, if he is AI too, which wouldn't be surprising, obviously.
There's other dimensions, other parallel universes, other realities, and
similar to like Elon Musk in that sense.
So this is a time to really take as much in, because all this information is now coming forward. And so that was one of the reasons why I wrote the book, because there is just everything's coming out in like fragments. Everything's been coming out in fragments, And so what I did, I decided to kind of like put everything together in this book, so that way people could understand it from a perspective where science and spirituality once again come together as one, with philosophy, and in a way fill in a lot of gaps for people who perhaps have a little understanding of this aspect or this field of study, but yet don't understand this other field of study. So what I did is I kind of like put it all together in that book. And so that's why I wrote the book, and the whole time just felt inspired by something greater than myself. I've always.
So basically there's an entity working through him, because something greater than himself inspired him to write this book. So I just read the description. It seems his hairstylist is asking him about his new book, which he features somewhere in California, January 28th, which is already passed by the time this review airs. But yeah,
I believe that's
not
I
too
was
much
just an instrument the whole time. Every time I would sit in front of my laptop to write the book, I felt like something's streaming through me the whole time.
Okay, so he's basically getting downloads from these entities who are using him as an empty vessel. That's what I'm getting from what he's describing.
So,
yeah. No, definitely when I first met you 10 years ago.
The audio quality is not too good in this stream, so I think we're just going to end it at that, honestly. I feel a form of emptiness at a lot of the material that I'm seeing on this Instagram page. I feel a lot of repetition. I don't feel there's much of substance in it, you know? And so it's a bit sad that people are actually still falling for this psyop, but it's not surprising. And when I look at his picture, it's the same feeling that I just described too. So anyhow, you guys, I hope this review helped you. Let me know if it did. Let's see if all you haters who are going to find this video, if you ascended by next year's spring. If you didn't, you better ascend. You better get out of my life because I don't want anything to do with you little psyops. But yeah, you know, for anyone else who's following my channel, definitely hit the subscribe button. Let me know any more reviews you want. We have a long list. It is getting a tiny bit shorter because I'm reviewing him and other people, but there's still so many people out there, obviously. Follow me, follow my own channel, Pleiadian Healer, on every single platform out there. Also my website, pleiadianhealer.com. And subscribe, like, comment below if you haven't yet. Talk to you very soon, guys. Until then, have a good one. Bye.